The fog came early that autumn, rolling over Miller's Hollow like smoke from a forgotten fire. It slid between the pines, clung to the porches, and hushed the night birds. Folks said the valley was beautiful in fall, gold and rust everywhere you looked. But I'd lived here long enough to know beauty had a way of hiding rot. I'd been the town's postmaster for 17 years. Not much of a title, but it gave me reason to walk the streets to notice things. Who smiled too wide? Who'd stopped coming outside? That's how I saw it first. The letters to the old Avery house suddenly coming back unopened. Nobody had lived there in decades. Not since the Avery family vanished one night in '92. Father, mother, daughter, gone. Folks said they moved to the city, but even back then, some of us heard the screams carried on the wind. It started again on a Tuesday. I found the letter in the outgoing bin. Pale envelope, no return address, and a shaky hand that wrote, "To Evelyn Avery." I froze. Evelyn had been the daughter. I turned it over. The paper smelled faintly of pine and smoke. By evening, I told myself it was a prank. Teenagers loved the Avery legend, the ghost family who never left. But that night, as fog pressed against my windows and the single streetlight flickered outside, I dreamed of a girl's voice whispering, "You forgot us." Next morning, Sheriff Colton came by the post office. He'd gone gray since high school, but his eyes still held that restless edge. "You hear what happened up by the Avery place?" he asked. "No," I said, pretending to sort mail. "What now?" "Someone broke in last night. Didn't take much. There ain't nothing worth stealing. But the lock was busted and..." He paused. There were footprints. Small ones, like a child's. The fog outside thickened, and I thought of the letter sitting on my desk at home. That evening, I walked to the edge of town. The road to the Avery house wound uphill past the sawmill and the old water tower. The pines leaned close, their branches heavy with mist. I hadn't been up there in years. Not since the search party turned up nothing but a torn ribbon and a patch of scorched earth. The house stood waiting, roof sagging, windows black, ivy crawling up its walls. When I stepped onto the porch, the boards groaned like they remembered me. Inside, the air was cold and heavy. Sunlight leaked through the cracks, painting dust and thin gold lines. The faint scent of burnt pine still lingered, and on the floor near the fireplace, someone had arranged a neat stack of letters, all unopened. Everyone addressed the same way, to Evelyn Avery. By the time I stumbled back to town, it was dark. Sheriff Colton's cruiser sat outside the diner, lights off, engine running. He waved me over. "Postmaster," he said. "You look like hell." I told him what I'd found. He frowned. "You sure?" "As sure as I'm standing here." He rubbed his jaw. "We'll check it out in the morning. But you best stay clear of that place. Ain't nothing there but ghosts." I didn't sleep that night. The fog pressed against my window like breath, and I could have sworn I heard footsteps on the porch. Around midnight, a soft thud hit the floor near the door. When I opened it, there was no one there, just another letter. Same handwriting, same name. I didn't open it. I just stared at the faint smear of dirt on the corner, shaped like a fingerprint. The next morning, the sheriff didn't show. His deputy found his cruiser abandoned near the Avery place. Engine still running, door wide open. They searched the woods all day, found boot prints leading to the porch, and one smaller set beside them, vanishing into the trees. That night, Miller's Hollow went quiet. You could feel the fear in the air, thick as the fog that never lifted. People locked their doors, left lights burning till dawn, and still the letters came. After the third one arrived, I tore it open. Inside was a faded photograph, a family of 3 standing in front of the Avery house. The father's hand on the mother's shoulder, the daughter in a white dress smiling, and behind them, in the shadow of the porch, another figure, blurred, watching. My stomach turned. On the back, in that same shaky script, were the words, "You were there too." The photo slipped from my hand, but the words stayed. You were there too, and I remembered. That summer in '92, I was 17, same as Evelyn. We spent afternoons skipping stones on the lake, talking about the future. She wanted to leave Miller's Hollow, study art somewhere far away. I told her I'd stay. Someone had to keep this town alive. One night, she asked me to meet her by the Avery house. Said her father had found out something that could change everything. I waited, but she never came. The next morning, their house was empty, but everyone said they'd left overnight. I remembered running, and now the letters. The next day, I went back. The fog was so thick it swallowed sound. I could barely see the porch until I stood on it. Inside, the letters were gone. In their place sat a small wooden box, carved with pine needles and the initials EA. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside, wrapped in yellowed paper, was a locket. 2 photographs, Evelyn on one side, me on the other. Beneath it, a note. "You promised you wouldn't tell." A floorboard creaked behind me. I turned. Nothing but fog spilling through the doorway, moving like it had weight. The air thickened, sharp with phantom smoke. Then I heard it, a voice faint as wind. "You left me," the world tilted. When I stumbled outside, my palms were black with soot. No answer, only the crackle of unseen fire. The next morning I tried to tell someone, but the sheriff was gone, and the deputy had left town overnight. No one wanted to hear about the Averys. "Let the dead rest," they said, so I kept quiet. Burned the letter, the locket, the photograph. But the next day, the smell of smoke filled my house again. And when I looked out my window, the fog wasn't gray anymore. It glowed faintly orange, like firelight through glass. That night I dreamed of the past. Evelyn's voice trembled in my ears. "If he finds out, he'll kill us." I remembered her father's eyes, cold, desperate. The way he shouted about sins and purity. The way Evelyn ran into the woods, crying. I followed her that night, too slow, too afraid. By the time I reached the house, it was already burning. I stood there, hidden, watching the flames swallow everything, and I never told anyone. Now the fog burns brighter each night. Sometimes I see shapes in it, 3 figures standing together, waiting. Sometimes I hear Evelyn's laughter, drifting through the pines. Yesterday morning, another letter arrived. No envelope this time. Just a folded note slid under my door. We remember. 2 weeks later, the town woke to the smell of smoke. The post office was gone, burned to the ground. No body was found. Only a handful of half-charred letters, all addressed to the same name, Evelyn Avery. Some nights, when the fog drifts low across Miller's Hollow, the mailboxes along the road creak open by themselves. Locals swear they hear the soft rustle of paper. And if you listen closely beneath the whispering wind, you might hear a young girl's voice saying, "He finally came home."